Your body is 100% selfish, absolutely dedicated to its goal, and its goal is to keep you alive so that you can experience your deepest desire. Nature makes no mistakes. God does not play dice. Instead, all of creation springs forth according to a few simple, elegant rules. All of creation, including your body. Know these rules and your body comes under your control. Welcome to Mind Over Symptom, where the pattern is revealed. Welcome to the Mind Over Symptom podcast. I'm Lishwi Springford, founder of the Mind Tree Integration Process, which helps you resolve your symptom by dissolving the cause of it. This is episode 3, Anatomy Made Simple, and the Mind-Body Code Revealed. Trust is a fragile thing, and strange, unexplained terminology or complex information can easily break that trust. Until I embarked on my first serious job after university, I was just a normal intellectual type. I believed in experts. Doctors, especially. To me, they were gurus high on a pedestal, and I respected their opinions not just about how my body works, but about how everything works: life, relationships, morality, consciousness. In the late 1990s, I found myself in a career that was extremely stressful. I was working 80 or more hours a week at a job I didn't enjoy and that didn't pay very well. The company I worked for was very unstable with a lot of internal problems. I'd gotten into the company on a venture which looked exciting, the prospect of promoting a new environmental cleanup technology, but it turned out to be a bad risk, and I really had no clue about the ins and outs of running a business. Within 6 months, I knew I was in a very bad situation. I was far from home, in a new city, and had few friends, and I didn't have enough spare time to get out and meet new people or look for a different job. Then I started to develop health symptoms. I had back pain, trouble sleeping, weakness in my body, dizzy spells, heart palpitations, and sometimes trouble breathing. And I developed several allergies, including an allergy to alcohol, which in hindsight was probably a good thing because otherwise I might have started self-medicating with booze. I visited several doctors trying to get answers to what was wrong with me, but I couldn't get them, and my anxiety began to build. Finally, I booked a medical appointment to get myself a stress leave. I'd been working so much that I wasn't able to relax, yet I couldn't slow down my work hours because I'd used up all my sick time. So I was really getting into a bad physical state with severe sleep deprivation and increasing anxiety, and I had to get a break so I could recuperate and find myself a better job. A stress leave to recover my health was exactly what I needed. To my complete shock, though, the doctor denied my request. He said doctors no longer prescribe stress leave because of liability issues, so this was not an option. Now, you have to know, at the time I had no idea that it was possible for doctors to be wrong, to be incompetent, or to tell a lie. I really thought medical doctors are some kind of special humans, like they've been sort of filtered out by mysterious mechanisms of society and the education system, and maybe some kind of rigorous government testing process or legal screening that makes sure that only absolutely kind, compassionate, genius IQ angels can become medical doctors. After all, these people have the power of life and death in their hands. So my reaction wasn't, "Oh, I need stress leave, I'll go find someone who will help me." My reaction was, "Oh my God, I'm completely trapped in this awful situation that's killing me. I have no options." What happened next was really weird. The doctor offered to test me for breast cancer and, if necessary, to give me a preemptive double mastectomy. I was still in a complete daze, shocked to discover that stress leave was not the solution to my symptoms, and when the doctor started talking about breast cancer, I didn't understand, and I thought he was offering me a solution to my stress. So the way I put it together in my brain was I thought he was telling me my health symptoms were being caused by breast cancer. And remember, again, I had utter faith in his expertise and his authority over my body. When he asked me whether anyone in my family had had breast cancer, I nodded. "Okay," said the doctor, "I'm going to recommend that you get the testing. Please book your next appointment as soon as possible." He strolled out of the room as I stared after him in shock. Then he popped back in for a second and gave me a pamphlet. "For your stress," he said. My experience with the breast cancer doctor constituted what we call a biological conflict, a completely unexpected, acute, and isolating trauma experience. I drove home in a fog. When I got there, there was nobody I could call, nothing I could do. I didn't know what to think. I had no idea how to react. I just sat there. I had taken on a situation I couldn't handle, And the reason I couldn't handle it was because I had cancer. As far as I knew, I was totally screwed. At some point, it occurred to me to look at the pamphlet that the doctor had given me to help me with my stress. It was a pamphlet about irritable bowel syndrome. I didn't have irritable bowel syndrome. I was even more confused. And that's when I had the first panic attack. I had several more panic attacks that night and continued having them in the weeks that followed. I developed phobias. I shut down my life and focused only on getting through the hours at work. I went into debt. I gave up my dreams. It was all about survival. Looking back now, I know that what got me into that mess was my belief that symptoms are a result of something in my body not working right. This is not a belief that I came up with all by myself. We have a cultural paradigm about what causes illnesses. When the body develops symptoms, it seems meaningless. Of course, we look to statistics, we blame aging, wear and tear, and so on. But the truth is, so many things can go wrong. The body seems a fragile thing, and doctors look for diseases to diagnose. That's their job. The way they do this is they look at your anatomy, they listen to your concerns, and then they compare all that to the currently accepted norm. If your current anatomy is within the range of normal, the diagnosis is that you're fine and you just need to get your act together. It's only when you have a significant anatomical, psychological, or behavioral anomaly that treatment can commence. In this sense, there really isn't any such thing as preventative medicine. So this doctor saw a healthy, normal person, and he offered to do a test to follow the current fashion and see if maybe there was something abnormal with my genes, but otherwise he couldn't see anything to worry about, and so he sent me on my way. But of course, at the time I had no idea about any of this. All I knew was that my body kept doing uncomfortable things, and it was getting worse, and when I went for help I got a cancer scare, so I didn't want to do that again. You can do all the right things: diet, exercise, positive thinking, be a nice person. But you get sick anyway, and you feel like it's your fault, like it's a punishment for being a bad person or making bad choices. Why else would it happen? But there's just no correlation between being a good person and having better or longer life, because good health is not a reward for being nice. Good health is not a reward. Good health is the natural result of meeting your body's needs, nothing more. Good health is totally selfish. When you reach a point of crisis in your health like I did, or in any situation, a crisis in your job, in your relationship, your overwhelm is not a result of stupidity or naivete. It's just the sheer volume of advice you've gotten, much of it contradictory, and as a result you're trying to do something that isn't going to work, like trying to be selfish to heal yourself when you secretly believe that being selfish is what made you sick in the first place. Thankfully, some simple steps will set us on the right path. One thing I knew to be true was that whatever was wrong with me, I wasn't finding the answer in a basic malfunction of my body. In fact, the more I looked for something wrong in my body, the worse my anxiety became because I just got more confused. So I started looking into alternative health. In between the ongoing crises at my job and with my panic attacks, I started studying nutrition, I started meditating, I started visiting a naturopathic doctor. It took me years to discover the 5 natural laws of healing and to completely reverse my health symptoms, but there was an important turning point early on that made the biggest difference for my health. This single turning point was my realization that I alone am responsible for my body, and the only way to take responsibility for my body was to become completely selfish about my health. What I'd believed before I had this realization was that the key to being healthy was to walk a very careful line of moderation, to be unique but not too unique, to have fun but follow the rules, to carefully balance the different parts of my life. I believed that the key to a good life is herd immunity, being normal, going along to get along. Most people share this paradigm, at least at an unconscious level. I know this because most people will not selfishly put their health first. It's not that people want to do unhealthy things. People don't develop symptoms because they hate doing healthy things. What we hate is punishment. We hate jogging because it hurts. We hate salad because it tastes boring. We hate getting up at 6 a.m. and going to a job that sucks. And we hate sitting in doctors' offices being told that we can't get a stress leave and we need to get our breasts removed to prevent cancer. Trying to get healthy through self-punishment is a flawed strategy because it's based on self-judgment. The key to healing is to recognize that yourself is the only thing that matters. You've got to put yourself first, not last. The key to healing is absolute, utter selfish self-interest, and your body won't accept any other strategy. Your body is a production plant. It has one purpose for existing, that is, to allow you to achieve the experiences that you desire to experience. This production plant is just like any production plant, except that it runs totally without your conscious awareness. The production plant has 4 departments. The first is the resources department, which handles getting and processing all the physical materials you need to build and operate the production plant and create products. The second department is the security department, which handles protecting the production plant from attack or injury. The third department of your production plant is the production system itself, the equipment you use to actually create the outcomes or experiences that you desire. And finally, the fourth department is the public relations department. This department constantly keeps track of marketing, demand, sales, projections, planning, and all the other aspects of keeping your production plant relevant and useful. But the PR department isn't there to keep your production plant relevant for society or the doctor or other people or even for God. Your body is not an instrument for anyone else's purpose. None of the departments of your production plant serves any master except you. You cannot serve 2 masters. Your body cannot serve 2 masters. As it says in the Gospels of Mark and Matthew and others, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And attempting to serve 2 masters is the source of every health symptom. Now, these 4 departments of your production plant are quite literal. I'm not talking metaphysics here. Each of the systems of your body has its own physical cells, tissues, organs, and organ functions. And while these body departments all help each other out and respond if there's a problem in another department that they can help out with, each of these departments ultimately only does its own job, so each department is itself completely selfish. The PR department doesn't respond to problems with attack. The resource department doesn't respond to problems of production. The production department doesn't respond to problems of public relations. You can figure out exactly what's causing your symptom just by figuring out which department is responding. This is pretty direct. First, if the symptom's affecting your digestive tract or digestive tissues in your lungs, kidney collecting tubules, uterus, inner ears, or irises, then the cause of your symptom is related to literally getting a substance or morsel into or out of your body. Second, if the symptom produces a problem in your deep corium skin, such as a scar, a melanoma, a bacterial or fungal skin infection, or problems related to the inner linings of the body, such as the pericardium, the pleura, or the peritoneum, then the cause of your symptom has to do with a fear of literal attack against your body. Third, if the symptom is located in your musculoskeletal tissues, that is, your bone, blood, lymph, ligaments, adrenals, or gonads, then you've experienced a literal problem with being able to or being allowed to do, be, or have something that you wanted. It's a self-devaluation conflict of some type. Fourth, and finally, if the symptom affects any of your sense organs, including your outer skin, your eyes, your hearing, etc., or if it affects your systems related to escaping or confronting a situation, such as your motor response, your blood sugar, or your sense of reality, then your body's responding to a literal problem of separation. That is, a sense of separation from something you desire or a desire to be separated from something that you don't like. It's an environmental reaction. Altogether, there are only about 500 types of trauma situations, and each of them will trigger a response in just one of your 4 body symptoms. By simply looking up your symptom on a chart, we know immediately what kind of situation your symptom's a response to. With a little detective work about what kind of events are going on in your life lately, or were going on at the time that the symptom started, we can figure out the true cause and thereby figure out a practical solution. The only thing you really need to get started on the path of total health is to know that your body is yours and yours alone. Your body doesn't give a single damn about society or herd immunity or what's normal. Your body doesn't care if you're a nice person or whether other people approve of you. It only cares about achieving your deepest desires. So why does your body produce symptoms in order to help you achieve your desires? Because when your body's selfish purpose is thwarted by some traumatic stress situation that threatens to get in your way of achieving that desire, your body deploys an emergency response program that lets you continue to survive and go the direction you want to go. So a symptom is an emergency response. In my case, for example, my desire was to walk away from a job situation that I didn't like. But I didn't feel that I could just quit. I felt I had to have an excuse. And when I couldn't see a way to escape the situation, I went into total panic, which forced me to look for a more meaningful solution. My PR department was responsible for the panic attacks. My PR department did what it had to do to help me separate from a situation I didn't want to be in. The practical application of this understanding of your physical anatomy, not as a bag of chemicals or a flawed machine that wears out over time, but instead as a ruthlessly selfish, self-correcting, and self-serving system, is you can now have an absolute trust that when the body does something, the body's doing so for a sensible reason. Now, our cultural story says that when we want to go in a certain direction in life and an obstacle comes along, it's a sign we shouldn't be going in that direction. This is a lie. Your cultural story is saying that you have to be normal. That's a lie. You have to be a part of the herd. Not true. You have to be a good citizen. Stuff your crazy wildness and behave yourself. You'll get your reward in the afterlife. But what if you're an atheist? I guess you get your reward when you take early retirement? This story is one big steaming lie. Being normal is a lousy goal. It'll crush your soul. Or at least that's what it did to me. When I realized this, it didn't solve my problems overnight, but it finally got me looking for answers in the right direction, and so I started to find them. I realized I can't beat my body, so I joined its cause. I stopped trying to punish myself to health. I completely gave up trying to force myself to follow the norms of society. Besides, yuck. I became empowered by becoming just as selfish and self-serving as my body itself. This is really the key to feeling good. Connect with your real self. Connect with who you really are. Well-being is a natural product of self-awareness and self-actualization. Your healing is 100% up to you and has nothing to do with what other people think of you, no matter what their level of expertise. Now I go to the doctor when I need someone who understands surgery or medication, or when I need help figuring out what my symptom exactly is. For example, I was having chest pain on the left side not too long ago. I wasn't depressed, so I knew it had nothing to do with my coronary arteries, and I couldn't think of any self-devaluation experience related to my left shoulder area, plus it didn't seem to be in the muscles. It seemed to be deeper in my chest. So I went to the doctor and found out that I had pleurisy. Now, pleurisy is a symptom in the pleura, which are the deep skin tissues that surround the lung and heart cavity. I was recovering from a sense of attack against that part of my body. I remembered that I'd been carrying my son in a backpack child carrier, and he'd gotten too heavy for it, so it felt like it was crushing my chest and I couldn't breathe fully, and this was the cause of the symptom. Once I figured it out, I did a little self-care, and I was all better within a few hours, and the symptom never came back. So, once you allow yourself to be selfish about your health, the rest is intellectually very easy. We just look at your symptom or what you feel stressed about, or even just look at a scan of your brain, and we immediately know why you have your symptom. Knowing why you have your symptom lets us figure out a solution. Now that's power. What I'd like to leave you with today is the understanding that all healing is self-healing, and self-healing begins with dropping the persona you're pretending to be for other people's benefit. Just be who you really are. Don't worry, when you're 150 years old, people will totally respect that, and anyone who doesn't will be long dead by then. Of course, living to a ridiculously old age isn't the only reason for self-healing. Total health equals peace of mind. It equals self-love, love of life, happiness, achieving your desires, feeling fulfilled. Self-healing means cancer cured, AIDS cured, schizophrenia and depression cured, obesity, addiction, genetic syndromes, anything that's a symptom can be cured if its cause is discovered and resolved. The sole purpose of your body, the sole purpose of your physical existence is to achieve your innermost desires, so the ability to self-heal automatically creates self-confidence. We can trust that a symptom isn't random, it's not bad luck, it's not punishment for bad behavior or bad habits. A symptom's always a response to a traumatic stress experience that threatens your well-being. Put yourself first, and nature will take care of the rest. This has been episode 3 of the Mind Over Symptom podcast. I've got lots of healing stories lined up for you, so please subscribe to make sure that you don't miss an episode. I welcome your feedback in the form of a review at iTunes so that I can continue to improve what I do. And if you'd like more support, please sign up for my free Mind Over Symptom training or get direct personal support for your challenge from me, Lishwi Springford. You can connect with me at Mindtree Health, and my various channels are all at my website, mindtreehealth.net. Links to these and other info from the episode are in the show notes. I look forward to being with you again soon. Until then, be well and have a great day. I hope you enjoyed Mind Over Symptom. To make sure you don't miss an episode, subscribe now and please share with a loved one. The Mind Over Symptom blog lives at mindtreehealth.net, where you can get your free training about the natural laws of healing, and you can also get support. I'm Lishwi Springford, your guide for radical self-healing.